The House Standing Committee on Postsecondary Education to order. Good to see everybody this morning. As a reminder, please silence your cell phones. At this time, I'm going to ask Jay to call the roll.
Representative Banta.
Present.
Representative Bratcher.
Present.
Representative Brown. Representative Chester Burton. Representative Decker. Representative Doan.
Present.
Representative Grossel.
Here.
Representative Massaroni.
Present.
Representative McCool. Representative Payne.
Here.
Representative Stalker.
Present.
Representative Thompson. Representative Truitt.
Here.
Representative Wilner.
Here.
Vice Chair Baker.
Here.
Chair Tipton.
Here. And we do have a quorum. At this time, we do have a new committee member on the committee. We'd like to welcome Representative Beverly Chester Burton to the committee. Glad to have you here with us.
Glad to
I
be here.
apologize that we have 8 o'clock meetings, but that's what they gave us.
That's okay. I'm
But
good.
it's good to have you here with us this morning as we talk about post-secondary issues.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Do you have Representative Grossel? Do you have an introduction?
Yes, please. I'd like to introduce to this committee my amazing intern, Abby Embry. She's in the audience today and has just been a real big help to me with constituent engagement and activity around all the bills that I have filed this session. So I'm thrilled to have her. She's a pre-law student at the University of Kentucky.
And I'll take the chair's privilege and introduce my intern for the session, Ms. Clara Heberling. She is a sophomore at the University of Louisville, majoring in political science and Spanish. So a very interesting major, but she's been a great help to me, and good to have her here with us this morning. Any other guests to be recognized this morning? It's good to have Vice Chair Baker with us this morning. Do you have any comments before we begin, or are you ready to go?
It is day 33.
Okay. Note taken. It's time to move on. Okay. As a reminder, there are no signs allowed in the committee rooms. An oath will be administered to all the witnesses who speak. And if you wish to speak on an issue that's on the agenda, there is a sign-up sheet at the podium, and testimony is at my discretion based on time restraints and information already presented. The first item of business today is House Bill 94. Representative Vanessa Grossel, if you please go to the table. And if you have anybody with you, they're welcome to come up. So please introduce yourself. Everybody introduce yourself for the record, and then I will administer the oath.
Good morning, Vanessa Grossel, State Representative, House District 88.
Travis Powell, Executive Vice President and General Counsel, Council on Post-Secondary Education.
Okay, please raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
All right, please proceed, Representative Grossel.
All right. Thank you, Chairman Tipton, Vice Chair Baker, and members of the committee for hearing this piece of legislation. I also want to express gratitude to the chairman for having the foresight during our last hearing to share his expectation that the 4 universities who testified against this bill would work collaboratively with me to get this piece of legislation to an agreeable compromise in a timely manner. It's an honor to present that to you today, and I thank the universities for sending in their ideas. The committee sub on House Bill 94 does 2 things. First, it requires CPE to host a transfer portal online that will serve as a one-stop shop for transfer students who attend or plan to attend any public institution across our Commonwealth. This is important because nothing like it exists currently, and NKU and U of L reference TES, which is the Transfer Evaluation System. That is a national clearinghouse, but it's pay-to-play and part of a private company called College Source.
Motion on committee sub.
And
Being new to the committee, I'd like to hear the rest of the sub.
Yeah, please proceed.
Thank you very much. Well, so this private company called College Source does host information on transfer for various universities across the country. And I tried it out myself and found that students can register for a free 10-day trial. But I'm happy we can now all agree that our Kentucky students deserve a better option that doesn't cost them their personal data or limit the amount of time that they can spend on the website weighing their options. Additionally, when probing the effectiveness of TES, it was brought to our attention that some of the universities had not updated the information on the website in nearly a decade. House Bill 94 requires the universities to review and update their data annually and to share this data with both KCTCS and CPE to ensure transparency and reliability. CPE's online transfer portal will also house each university's existing KCTCS transfer pathways, as well as be a repository of each university's academic catalog with degree mapping. Secondly, and this is my favorite part, under Section 2, this bill asks CPE to convene the chief academic officer or their designee from each institution to specifically work on the pathways that we identified over a year ago that are in high demand and high demand for the workforce, like teaching and nursing, and to issue a report to this committee by December 1st of this year on how to improve and streamline transfer for these specific pathways aimed at reducing both cost and time to degree, getting students out into the workforce in some of our top in-demand fields quicker and with less debt. So before our last hearing, you may recall, committee members, that WKU and U of L had sent emails to you, members of this committee, containing spreadsheets of transfer student outcomes covering their entire undergraduate student bodies and every degree program they offer, a misinformation or disinformation campaign of sorts, which means either they never truly understood that there were only a few pathways that were ever intended to be the focus of this legislation, or they intentionally wanted to mislead all of us into believing that outcomes are more favorable than they in fact actually are for the specific pathways we're focused on. So, in the spirit of shared data and defining the problem, as referenced by UK's Sarah Ballard, I have some striking visuals to share with you as examples of why this work is so necessary. A much more nuanced data sheet has been shared with each institution as well that includes not only nursing and teaching, but also psychology, social work, and business, the other specific pathways that were identified previously as in high demand. And for the sake of transparency, the data I'm about to share covers 310 four-year to four-year transfer students across these 5 pathways, 2,744 students who transfer from KCTCS to the four-year institutions across these 5 pathways, and is compared with 8,350 native students who study these 5 pathways at the public four-year institutions. Overall, the takeaway is that our comprehensive institutions have room to grow and improve across the different degree programs. Some are better off than others, but the work is necessary despite progress that has been made, Jenny Sand. So let's go to slide 2. When we look at education programs in particular, and we know we need teachers out into the workforce, there's a significant transfer penalty for students who move between four-year institutions. You can see this in green. And for the universities here that don't have a green column, that's because less than 10 students transfer in to the pathway of education at their university. So this isn't really relevant to them, which is why we had it as opting in the previous version of this. At U of L, the burden is the greatest when we look at education, with students completing over 155 hours on average in order to graduate. Also of note, KCTCS students studying education who transfer to EKU complete on average an additional 24 hours beyond EKU native students, equivalent to 2 full semesters, totaling 167 hours, and that's in yellow. And I'll go to slide 3. This is a similar analysis on nursing. As you can see here, nursing has the highest institutional transfer burden of all, consistently showing the highest credit hour requirements across all institutions. When we look at 4-year to 4-year transfer, again in green, at U of L and UK, 4-year to 4-year transfers complete 166 hours on average, and at NKU, transfer students from other 4-year institutions have 160 hours on average at graduation, a whopping 40 to 46 hours above the 120-hour threshold for most degree programs. So Katie Cardarelli, as the Commonwealth's top transfer destination, you certainly have work to do. When we talk about nursing, it's important to acknowledge that many of the students transferring from KCTCS have already earned their Associate of Applied Science degree, meaning that they are nurses already who are simply transferring to further their education and earn a bachelor's degree. This accounts for the higher number of credits on average completed by students who transfer from KCTCS to 4-year institutions in yellow. Here, just in case you were wondering why those numbers are higher in nursing, and this is another area for possible streamlining. So I will now defer to Travis Powell with CPE to add anything else that is relevant regarding the importance of House Bill 94 in its current and previous forms. I look forward to coming to you with another piece of legislation in January to strengthen transfer, because I will never stop fighting for what's in the best interest of students and families and taxpayers across this Commonwealth.
Travis, you have anything to add?
No, just, 2 parts of this bill. One would be more transparency, what I think is always good for students. And then also we're looking forward to the study portion of this to really dig into the data, kind of see what's going on, and really focus on, one of the things that it mentions is barriers and discrepancies. And so we've talked a lot about students that actually have made it to the end, but are there barriers that are keeping students from transferring at all, right? So we want to take a look at that as well. So anyway, excited to get to work. This is a great issue to discuss. Appreciate the collaboration on this since our last testimony, and hopefully we can get to the finish line on this and get to work.
Okay, we do have some questions. Representative Chester Burton.
No, I was okay with her comments. That's it. That's okay.
Representative Doan. Okay. We do have a motion on the committee sub. Any discussion on the committee sub? If not, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed, no. The committee sub is adopted. We have any questions on House Bill 94 as amended by Primary House Substitute 1? If not, do we have a motion on the bill? Motion. Have a motion and a second. All right. Seeing no other discussion, Jay, please call the roll.
Representative Baker. Yes. Representative Banta.
Yes.
Representative Bratcher. Yes. Representative Brown.
Yes.
Representative Chester Burton.
Yes.
Representative Decker.
Yes.
Representative Doan.
Yes.
Representative Grossel.
Yes.
Representative Massaroni. Representative McCool.
Yes.
Representative Payne.
Yes.
Representative Stalker.
Yes.
Representative Thompson.
Yes.
Representative Truitt.
Yes.
Representative Wilner.
Yes.
Chair Tipton.
Yes. House Bill 94 as amended by Primary House Substitute 1 passes with favorable expression. The same shall pass on the House floor.
Thank you.
At this time, I'm going to turn the chair over to Vice Chair Baker.
Good morning, Chair Tipton. Would you please identify yourself for the record?
Yes, James Tipton, House District 53.
Okay, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
I do.
You may proceed.
Thank you. This legislation before you may seem familiar because we passed it out of this committee a couple of weeks ago, House Bill 307, dealing with proactive post-secondary admissions. We did have some questions and some discussion after that meeting, had several meetings. I decided to bring the bill back into committee so we could do another committee sub to make some adjustments to it because I think it's important for the committee to review these things. And if you we do have a committee sub on the bill, and the changes, a couple of changes, two or three changes in the committee sub. Staff identified a section that they believed actually was a FERPA violation, and we corrected that. And in the previous version of the bill, KDE would share this information with CPE, which would then share it with the universities. In this version of the bill, KDE would be sharing the information on these students directly with the universities. That is one change. There was also some concern relating the sharing of the complete Social Security number, some security concerns. I had some conversations with KY Stats, and they said that if they had the last 4 digits of the Social Security number and the date of birth, they felt like they would get a 90+% accuracy on being able to get a cohort of students. So to alleviate those concerns, the sub it changes it from complete Social Security number to the last 4 digits of the Social Security number, and it does add the requirement that they share the date of birth. So KY Stats would have that information. There is some non-codified language in the back. We had some conversations with Kia. As you know, they send out a KEYS letter to all the students who are eligible, have earned KEYS scholarship dollars. We felt like this would be another venue to get information to the students. So on the last page there, on section 5, basically Kia, when they notify students with this of the KEYS letter, they will also include a single link, QR code, or web address provided by CPE that provides students access to the common online application. Also in conversations with Kia, they still mail out that letter. So there is another section here that they shall consult with KDE to evaluate the feasibility and effectiveness of sending the communication notifying students of their eligibility for KEYS scholarships electronically. So that would be, we feel like if they can accomplish that, that would be a more effective, more cost-effective way of doing that. And while we were talking about it, we decided to give this bill a name. And Section 6, the last thing, this act may be cited as the My Kentucky Future Act. And I think that is very appropriate because the goal of House Bill 307, as amended by the sub, is to let students know of the opportunities that are out there for them to go to post-secondary and attain post-secondary education. So, Mr. Chair, that's really the explanation of what's in the sub.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the sub. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. House proposed sub 3 is adopted. Do we have any questions on the bill? See no questions on the bill. We do have a motion and a second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Baker,
Yes.
or Representative Banta,
Yes.
Representative Bratcher,
Yes.
Representative Brown,
Yes.
Representative Chester Burton,
Yes.
Representative Decker,
Yes.
Representative Doan,
Aye.
Representative Grossel,
Yes.
Representative Massaroni, Representative McCool,
Yes.
Representative Payne,
Yes.
Representative Stalker.
Explain my vote, please.
Yes.
I'm a yes, and I just want to thank you, Representative, for listening to the feedback and specifically around the Social Security component. I think that was really critical, and thank you so much for making that adjustment.
Representative Thompson,
Yes.
Representative Truitt,
Yes.
Representative Wilner,
Yes.
Chair Tipton.
Yes.
House Bill 307 with House Committee Sub 3, House Committee Sub 2. Passes with the expression of opinion, same should pass on the House floor.